This is the 2025 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Malt Experiment, Amber Ale. Thanks to our sponsors. 5 Star Chemicals. Check out their new online straight-to-consumer homebrew shop where you can buy everything from Star San and line cleaner to the new liquid PBW that can be used at temperatures as low as 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Check out their online store at 5starchemicals.com/home-brewing. Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store. A local homebrew shop in Danvers, Massachusetts. Order any malt they offer in any quantity you want, and if you order before 11 a.m., they'll package your items and ship out the very same day. Visit the store at www.beer-wine.com. Let's get tasting.
Cheers and welcome to Irondale Brewing. Today is my first review in the series of 2025 Brewtubers Experiment Beers. This is something we do every year. This year we decided on doing an amber ale, American Amber Ale, and then each of the 11 brewers who participated took a base recipe that was developed, I believe, by Nick and Kurt. Forgive me if I'm getting wrong who came up with the original recipe. I think it was Nick and Kurt, so Exit 12 and Fermentation Adventures. And then we each added our own specialty malt to kind of boost that base recipe, which is kind of the lower end of what an amber ale should be, color-wise, etc. And then we each picked a different specialty malt to get it up into the amber ale range, if that makes sense. So I'll talk a little bit about, I will say I'm starting with Kurt from Fermentation Adventures. Made his sort of a baseline. I'm trying to do 2 cameras here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll see. If you only see one camera, you'll know the other camera didn't work. So he did sort of a baseline where he did the base recipe and just added Sinamar to boost the color, basically. In theory, Sinamar is just intended to add color and does not add any additional flavor. So we'll see how that worked out. And then as far as the recipe goes, I'll put it up on the screen, but it was Northeast Gold malt from Stone Path, Breeze Caramel 60, and then some, Stone Path Northeast Munich, and some Victory malt. So the idea, at least for me, an American Amber kind of sits in that space between an American Pale and a brown. It is for me, this is one of my favorite styles. I'll get that out of the way as well. I think partially just because I think it's a great, well-balanced style when it's done well. And also because in the early days of the craft beer movement in the 90s, it was kind of like, this was craft beer because it was different than anything else you could get. This and pale ale and those sorts of things. So the idea with, at least for me, what a successful amber ale will do is it will balance maltiness and hop character. So you want both. It's not more malt, for me anyway, not more malt forward than hop or vice versa. And I think the other thing I'm looking for in an amber ale is obviously the color. It should be a nice reddish amber, not quite brown, not pale enough that you call it a pale. And then typically it'll use classic American hops. In this case, we used Magnum for bittering, and then Willamette and Cascade. So with Willamette, you get that kind of floral, fruity, and with Cascade, you'll get that more grapefruit pine notes, and that should make a really nice classic American Amber Ale. So without talking about that too much further, let's get into this. So what Kurt did, as I said, is added, it says on here, without an extra malt, just some Weyermann Sinamar. Can you taste it? We'll find out. And it's called Sort of a Baseline. Great label. I always love Kurt's beers. Oh, and then we used BRY97 for the yeast. So let's crack this open and get going. And hopefully this other camera will pick up the beer better than, the one facing me in terms of getting a real sense. Wow, okay. So nice, nice carbonation. I opened that kind of hard. Let's get it in here. I should have put that camera on the other side since I pour right-handed. Fix that next time. And I, pour these kind of aggressively to make sure we get some good carbonation. It's not my fault if it doesn't have good carbonation. Wow, I can smell the nice malty aroma coming off of that already. Hopefully this other camera will get a good shot of it, or maybe this one. Beautiful color. I love the color. It is a nice, I'd call that kind of reddish brown. Pushing, I'd say the dark end of amber. I don't know what he got for an SRM, if it's on here, or if, don't see it on here, but yeah, beautiful color. Nailed the color with the Sinamar. Aroma-wise, Mostly malty, a little bit of roasty. The other thing in an amber ale, you'll get some roasty, bready, toffee kind of stuff going on with the caramel malts and the Victory malt in this case, and the Munich. Get that kind of bready character in there. But yeah, really nice aroma, and it was just hitting me just right as I started to pour. Great head on that, nice light tan head. I don't know how well you can see, probably not on the other camera, I don't want to spill. But all in all, great looking beer, good carbonation. See the bubbles coming up on that. Yeah, beautiful beer. All right, let's take a taste of the first experiment beer, see how we're doing here. That's nice. I get more malt than hops for me, and all this is personal preference. We're also supposed to rate these as we go. This is going to be really difficult. I'm going to try just to keep track of, as I go, kind of where things fit in the overall picture of 1 to 11. And I'm going to try to evaluate it in terms of how well I think it works as an amber ale, kind of what was it trying to do, and balance with would I use this in an amber ale? You know, kind of if I was reimagining my own recipe of an amber ale. Yeah, for me, I would like more hops. That's maybe not everybody's thing. For reference, I will say if you have had or have heard of Mac and Jack's amber, that's kind of like my go-to amber that I absolutely love. And I made an amber a couple of years ago that I think got pretty close to that I was really pleased with. But it's really good. I would just say that the maltiness, the malt character is definitely there. I would just say for me, it's missing a little bit of that balance with the hops. I'd like kind of a little bit more bite from the Cascade in particular. And it's mostly roasty on the nose, not much hop aroma. I will look up and put on the screen kind of what the hop schedule was. I don't remember off the top of my head. I did have a little tablet here, but it was getting in the way, so I got out of the way, and I'll just put it up on the screen. But yeah, the flavor, carbonation, head retention, all that stuff is really on point. It's a very easy drinking beer. I don't know, I've never used Sinamar, so I don't know if this is what I'm picking up. But kind of in the finish, there's a little bit of tangy, almost sweetness that I don't know if that's coming from the Sinamar or not. I guess to do this, we should have had somebody make the beer without anything, no Sinamar, no specialty malt, no nothing, and it wouldn't really be an amber, but then you'd have something to kind of go on. But that gets crazy, and you know, we're trying to have fun here and not get too overboard with it. So 2 ounces of Sinamar. I'm assuming that's in a 5-gallon batch. Yeah, so not having a bit. Let's see, it came out to 32 IBUs. I think the recipe was 32 to 33 and 4.9% ABV, 1048 original gravity, 1011 final gravity. And it's hard to say. I would have to get some Sinamar and see, like, in isolation what that stuff is like, because I've never used it. I just kind of know what it's used for. But I will say it did a great job of, I'm assuming from the base recipe with no specialty malts, that the color would be way light. And I am assuming that little bit of tang I'm getting is probably from the Sinamar, because none of the grains in here would give you that sort of tang, I don't think. But yeah, great beer. As you can see, I'm almost halfway through it. Yeah, very well executed. And like I said, I love what it did to the color. That's your really nice copper, red, amber color. So that is great. And again, the reason we do these experiments is now I kind of know what Sinamar does to color, at least, you know, assuming what the color would look like without anything in it. Maybe for the next one, I will scale the recipe strip the recipe back down to nothing and see what the SRM is supposed to be, so I can give you better information. First one, I'm a little bit rough here. We'll get rolling here with these. But yeah, I really do like that. Like I said, I will have to do a little bit more research on Sinamar and see if I am tasting a little bit of the Sinamar syrup. But yeah, great beer, great job, Kurt. Always love drinking your beers. And so the first one, this will be number 1. because it's the only one. It may stay pretty high. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the beers come out. But yeah, great job. I'm really looking forward to trying the rest of these. Perfect time. Fall's hitting hard here in the Pacific Northwest. Great time to try 11 different amber ales. Yeah, like I said, I think the only comment I would have is a little bit more hop character would be good for me. Not everybody may like that, and there's a lot of kind of leeway within the style. I just know for me, when I have an amber ale that I personally think just is spot on, it's that it hits that balance between malty and hoppy where they're kind of almost equal in terms of what they contribute to the beer. So I'd like more hops in this one, but overall this is a great beer. Like I said, love that color. I'll have to look into Sinamar and think about how I might use that. Because the nice thing there is if it's like you have this great recipe, it's like, I just wish it was a little bit, darker or, more copper red, whatever. And you can add it in various amounts. The interesting thing would be if 2 ounces in a 5-gallon batch, if that is what I'm tasting, then you'd have to kind of like temper the the amount you add, realizing that if you get high enough percentage, it might start contributing some flavor, even though it's not supposed to. But yeah, really enjoy that beer. Great job, Kurt. I think I will leave my first one there for now. We'll see how this camera stuff worked out and be looking for the rest. I'm probably going to try to do 2 or 3 a week. I don't want to totally bombard people and want to give a little bit of a break, but not too much, so I can kind of rank as I go, and I'll put the rankings on the screen as we go. But number 1 beer, sort of a baseline from Fermentation Adventures. And yeah, I'm going to go finish this, and we'll see you for the next review.